how much does a quantum network cost?
Yeah. So, again, you want to have a solution. It depends on what your performance requirements are and what you're trying to do. Just like when you ask how much does a classical network cost or how much does a data center cost, right? It depends on what you want to do with it, and that determines what you put into it. So, again, once you if you have a software stack that can work with lots of different types of hardware at the bottom, then you can pick and choose. You could build a basic entanglement-based network for less than $1 million. You might spend $3 million, or you might spend $5 million, or you might spend more than $10 million. It depends on things like the number of nodes and the type of lasers and photon detectors you want to use for what you're trying to accomplish, for the key rate that you're trying to generate. For example, that's a key that, these, we like to talk about solutions and not just, raw data. What customers want to do is to get some use out of these networks. So, for example, how many keys can I create per unit of time? Depending on what you need, that determines what hardware you're going to need, and that's going to determine the cost, or at least play a large role in it.
Yeah, I would imagine that some of the metrics that go along with that cost are things like, if you need it to be faster, sometimes that means it's going to cost a little bit more for that equipment. Would that be accurate? Yeah,
that's right. Or maybe have a higher reliability. There's lots of parameters around hardware. Yeah. It's just like, there are routers that cost $100,000, and there are routers you can buy at Best Buy, and there's a lot of differences between them, whether it's performance, manageability, reliability, et cetera, features.
Yeah, you bring up a really good point, which is that on the other hand, if your use case doesn't require that kind of speed, then maybe you're able to cut some costs in some places.
That's right.
By choosing the equipment properly.
And that's why the simulation is so important. If you have a good simulation environment, digital twin, as Gartner calls it, and you can model this bunch of hardware, this bunch of hardware, that bunch of hardware, and then you can pick and choose, how much do you need to spend to get what you want at the application layer. Mm-hmm.